Hello everyone and welcome back to the Electric Table Talk. I'm your host Manon, and on today's episode we'll be talking about the very obvious, the reason why we're all here, the Pokemon Direct that aired yesterday. We'll be talking about everything that was revealed from the Pokemon to the legendary to the characters, and we're just going to get straight into it because I don't want this video to be too long. Let's start off with the new Pokemon. First of all, I was really impressed watching the trailer. I'm always hyped anytime we have a new generation rolling around, and I was pretty satisfied with what Pokemon decided to show us. I think they always put their best foot forward when they're trying to get us to get into a new game, so I was pretty impressed, pretty excited, and I liked everything that was shown. Our first Pokemon that we're going to talk about is Gossifleur. Gossifleur is the flowering Pokemon. It's a grass type with the ability Cotton Down and Regenerated. First thoughts on Gossifleur. I like it. I think it's cool, and I noticed that Pokemon has to begin this kind of trend to have these grass types that have kind of a feminine energy to it now. I see for the last time we've had Bounsweet, and the generation before that we had Flabébé. Even though Flabébé is not grass, but it does have grass elements to it, I noticed that Pokemon is going towards this more light and airy type of grass moniker that's been happening, and I think they do it pretty well. I like Gossifleur. In the trailer they showed Gossifleur's evolution, which was the only evolution shown, new evolution I should say, that was shown in the trailer. Eldegoss. Eldegoss is a Cotton Bloom Pokemon with the same ability as its pre-evolution. I like Eldegoss, and you're gonna hear this going on forward. I liked all the Pokemon's designs that were shown. I do not have a major bad critique for any of them, but I do have my little nitpickings that I will discuss. When it comes to Eldegoss's design, I like that it, to me, in my opinion, it has a religious kind of inspiration to it. That's how I interpret it. They are looking at its big cotton puff that envelops its head. To me, it looks like those very halos that is interpreted in Roman Catholic art, and you have this gown that it is draped in, and I think that is really, to me, seems like very Israel line, New Jerusalem robes. I don't know, I get that kind of thing. And we're in England where church and state back in the earliest centuries were very involved with one another, so we could be seeing that Pokemon goes with this moving forward. The next Pokemon that we're going to talk about is Wooloo, which is a normal type sheep Pokemon with the ability Fluffy and Run Away. A lot of positive feedback is online for Wooloo. I like the design as well. I think it's pretty simple, yet it has enough uniqueness to set it apart from its real life counterpart, which I think Pokemon should always try to strive for. We can know your inspiration and where you got it from, but there should be a new take on it that will make it Pokemon, and I think Wooloo has done that, and hopefully Wooloo gets an evolution, and hopefully it carries that creativity forward with it. The next Pokemon is, which I think a lot of fans can agree, their favorite Pokemon out of, surprisingly, outside of the legendaries. Their favorite Pokemon that were revealed was Corviknight, the Raven Pokemon, a flying steel type. The ability is Pressure and Unnerve. Corviknight, you can see from Corviknight's design a lot of thought was put into it, and I appreciate that. My first thought of Corviknight, I love the steel-like quality to its design. I love that we can tell that it's steel type, and a lot of fans were trying to determine, will it be dark steel, will it be dark flying? But it was steel flying, and I'm glad that they went with the steel flying route. We don't have much steel flying, and steel flying has proven itself to be a formidable opponent competitively, so I'm really glad that Corviknight is a flying steel type, and I do appreciate the design. It's clean, the color palette is strong. I love that strong word and it has a practical role to play in the storyline. As it is shown in the trailer, it's going to operate as a taxi, which replaces HM5, which we won't be seeing. I'm guessing moving forward we're going to be seeing the HMs being interpreted in another mechanic, which I think is the more realistic route to go, because it's really weird for a flying Pokemon to know the move Fly just so you can ride it. So I'm glad that Pokemon is now moving forward. That's very forward thinking. Drednaw is the bite Pokemon, water rock type with the ability strong jaw, shell armor, another turtle Pokemon, and I love Drednaw in this particular trailer because it helped it stood out because of its color palette. If you looked at the Pokemon that were shown along with it, their color palette was kind of muted to me. Whites, light greens. Drednaw has this strong yellow brown with a mostly blue palette, and I think that helped stood out. My co-host Puzzle said that this was the most forgettable design, and I disagree. I like it. I think, like I said, Pokemon always, when they're introducing a new generation, they put their best foot forward, in my opinion. I think Drednaw was a great choice in getting us to know what the generation is possibly building up to. I like Drednaw design. I like the detail in the shell armor. I like the detail in the horn. It gives us this real feel of rock, which I didn't expect it to be rock type. I wasn't even really thinking about its typing. I just thought that it was a cool design, and I like the thought that was placed into it. Hopefully Drednaw will be competitively viable, because I love seeing when a Pokemon has a strong design and competitively they hold up to that same standard. So I'm really excited about Drednaw and what the potential Pokédex is shaping up to be like. And the final set of Pokemon that were revealed in the trailer, and it was revealed at the end of the trailer, were the legendary. They're both wolf inspired legendaries, and outside of their name we really don't get much more except for the lore that was provided. Zacian and Zamazenta. It's for Zacian, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, I can't remember what they said in the trailer. Its shining blade can cut through anything. Zacian attacks so gracefully that its movement can even captivate its opponent. Sorry guys, I'm trying to rush through here. It holds what appears to be a sword in its mouth. When I first saw Zacian in the trailer, it kind of had a little bit of qualm with it holding the sword, but it grew on me, because what made up for it was, I love Pokemon can't do legendaries wrong. We have to get that straight. Pokemon does not do grammar check. They don't do legendaries. They can't do no wrong with legendaries mostly. The fans can really nitpick and critique, but I think you cannot say that it's not a good design at the end of the day. And Zacian and Zamazenta proved that Pokemon still know how to do good legendaries. And like I said, it's only nitpicking at this point. You could say they're a little bit over the design, but at the end of the day, they're both held up. Zamazenta, I loved in the trailer. The shield has the metallic steel-like quality that I want to see in the artwork. I'm not much getting it from the artwork, but in the trailer I did appreciate seeing it in movement and having that steel-like quality to its shield. And overall I think they're two beautifully well executed designs, and I can't wait to see what Pokemon does with it and what part they play in the storyline. The next category we're going to talk about are the people or characters that were released in the trailer. Now, in the trailer it was confirmed that gyms will be returning, and we got our first gym leader, who is the grass type specialist, Milo. Everybody's I'm sure you probably see the memes and reposts of Milo on this big muscular body. I appreciate design. I think that Pokemon always get characters right, and I don't want to seem like I'm just gassing up Pokemon when it comes to design, but they have really well designed artworks, and I think they show that in the trailer, and I respect Milo's design. I respect all of their designs. Leon, strong design, strong character design, and hopefully it's not just a good design. hopefully he likes Cynthia, because Cynthia I think is the best champion. I hope his role is expanded on and we just don't fight him at the end or whatever. Here, one of your rivals, we have to pay attention to that. In the trailer it says one of your rivals will be Hop, and Hop is Leon's little brother, and from what we see from the trailer, he starts out the same time as you, so we can expect to see him at the beginning of the game, and he chooses the starter that is weaker to yours, and he is shaping up to be what Pokemon has decided to do, are more friendly companion-like rivals, which a lot of people don't agree with, but it's neither here or there for me. We got introduced to the professor of the generation, Professor Magnolia, and Sonia, who is her granddaughter and is her assistant as well. They will be specializing or investigating or researching the Dynamax phenomenon, and we're gonna get to the Dynamax in a little bit, but my thoughts on the design, I like it. You know, people love Sonia, they call her waifu, whatever. Professor Magnolia, she's a strong elder. I like the elder. I prefer seeing younger professors, but I don't mind the wisdom and age of a seasoned professor. And of course the Pokemon League will be returning, and in the Galar region or Galar region, not sure which one you'd prefer to hear, but the League organization and the gym battles are all a very festive part of the culture there in that region. It's televised, it's held in large arenas, and the reason for this is because of the new Dynamax feature which exists in Pokemon. And what the Dynamax is basically blown up versions of a Pokemon on field using maxed out attacks. And of course, watching in the trailer, it was like, wow, what is Dynamax? And they're big, and it's just like, it catches your eye, but when you actually slow down and actually give it a second thought, my opinion, I think is a little bit underwhelming game mechanic. You're just scaling up the size of the Pokemon. I don't think that really has much dimension to it compared to Z moves at Mega Evolutions, where Mega Evolutions completely redesigned the Pokemon, whereas Z moves redesigned how you played the game in terms of strategies. I'm curious to see what more Dynamaxing has to offer to the game other than just supersizing your Pokemon, and I would actually like to see that they probably introduce two game mechanics. I think it would be fun to see not only Dynamax but also a new feature in being introduced. I think that would actually change the game for me. And so we covered the Pokemon, we covered the characters, and we covered the new game mechanic in Dynamax. I think that's about it. Like I said, my thoughts are I really enjoyed the Direct. Pretty excited to see what else we have left. The release date was given for November 15th. So we are, what, roughly 6 months away from it, 5 months, I'm not sure, I have to check back my math, but we're around the corner, and a lot of leaks are being released online, and I'm not interested in them, so I'm trying to keep the suspense alive. So I'm excited. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and share. We want the channel to grow, and we are growing, starting off very slowly. So if you happen to stay to the end of this video, thank you so much, and please subscribe, like, share, tell all your friends, show it to someone. I want the support. We need the support over here. Passamana needs the support, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. So thank you guys for joining us, and I'll see you later.